Are you waiting for home prices to drop before buying a house? Well, what if I told you that waiting could actually cost you tens of thousands of dollars? I know, sounds crazy, doesn't it? But in today's market, especially here in Kenosha, waiting could cost you tens of thousands of dollars. Stay tuned and watch this video, and I'll share with you 7 reasons why waiting could cost you lots of money. Number 4 may even shock you. I'm Chad Scott, your go-to Kenosha realtor here. I help people just like you every single week buy, sell, and invest here in the Kenosha area. If you have any questions at all, feel free to reach out to me anytime. Now let's dive into the 7 reasons why you shouldn't wait to buy a house here in the Kenosha area. Reason number 1, prices may not even drop at all. If you've been waiting for home prices to drop, it may not ever happen. In fact, in recent years, even during the downturn when interest rates went up, we've seen home prices go up steadily, maybe at a slower rate than they did during the COVID years, but home prices here in the Kenosha area have continued to rise year over year. So if you're waiting for home prices to go down in the Kenosha area, we don't see it happening anytime soon. So if you're sitting on the sidelines waiting for that massive drop in home prices to come, I think you're going to be waiting for a really, really long time. Or worse, as you sit on the sidelines waiting for prices to go down, you'll just watch as home prices go up and up and up, and you end up buying a house that's even more expensive than you could buy right now. Reason number 2, interest rates may continue to rise. I know that right now in 2025, we all expect interest rates to continue to decline, but you never know what the Fed may do. They may decide to raise interest rates because they are an independent agency and they may see economic signs that we don't see, and they may need to raise interest rates to cool down the economy a little bit. So you never know what may happen. If you wait on the sidelines for too long, interest rates may decide to go up. So waiting could cost you even more money in the long term by waiting too long for interest rates to come down. So let's say that prices do drop by 5%. That's great, right? But if interest rates go up by 1%, that extra interest that you're paying month after month really adds up. So let's do a quick calculation here. Right now, the average home price in Kenosha is $300,000. So let's say if they do go down by 5%. That means that the average home price will be $285,000. So the home price is $285,000. Let's say you're putting down 20% to get rid of that nasty PMI. Your loan term is 30 years. Right now, the average interest rate as of yesterday was 6.8%. So let's say the interest rate goes up to, let's say, even 7.5%. Your loan starts in March. Even if we don't include taxes and everything, your payment will be $1,500. So that's your payment if the house goes down by $15,000. So if your house stays at $300,000, 300,000, and it's at 6.5%, $1,560. Now that's not a huge jump in your monthly payment. It's only like an $80 jump. But that $80 adds up month after month after month after month after month. $80 times 12. I'm terrible at math, so I can't do that in my head. But after month after month after month, and then year after year after year, that really adds up. And $80 is a nice dinner out right now. So take that into account when you are looking for a house and you want to buy a house. Does the interest rate really matter that much to you? Or can you buy a house with a higher interest rate right now and maybe wait 6 months to a year, maybe a year and a half, and see the interest rates fall and then refinance to a lower interest rate and get that lower monthly payment? I don't know if you can. Only you can decide that if you can afford that monthly payment right now or not. If you can, fantastic. If you can't, maybe buy a lower price house. Give me a call, shoot me a text. We can game plan it. We can go over the numbers together, and we can see what you can and what you can't do. Reason number 3, rent costs are rising. So every single month, it seems like landlords are raising the rent here in the Kenosha area. Right now, rents are hovering right around that $1,800 a month mark. So that's the average of all rental units. So that's 1 bedrooms, 2 bedrooms, 3 bedrooms. That's regular rentals, that's duplexes, that's single family homes, that's luxury rental apartments. So it's right around $1,800 a month. Now, obviously, some rents are higher, some are lower. Those really nice luxury apartments that they're building all over the place, those are really high. Those are like $2,500, $3,500 a month. You can get some really cheap rentals here in the Kenosha area, off of Sheridan Road, down there by the old Kenosha Hospital, for like $700 a month. If you want to live in those, they're not always the greatest, but you can get some really cheap rental units here in the Kenosha area. And then you get some really nice ones if you want to shell out the money for it, if you can afford them. But if you're currently renting, you know how much rent is, and you know how landlords are constantly raising rent on you. And along with constantly raising rent on you, they're always taking stuff away. So generally with rent, they include heat, water, that kind of stuff. But what I've noticed is that they're starting to take away that kind of stuff. Like they're saying, well, heat's no longer included. I'm going to separate the heat from the rent. You got to pay your own heat. So you got to call We Energies, set up your own We Energies account, your own electricity, and your own heat account. So is it worth you? Is it worth you to line somebody else's pocket with rent money, or is it worth to you to buy your own house and build equity, possibly borrow against it, and own a piece of America? I don't know. Renting for some people makes sense. Renting for some people is what they like to do. Some people like to have that maneuverability to be able to just pick up and leave whenever they want. And some people like to have the stability of owning a house and having a place that they call home. So whatever makes sense for you, makes sense for you. For us personally, we don't like to rent, so we love having our house. But whatever makes sense for you, makes sense for you. If you think owning is best for you, then I'd love to talk to you and we can make a game plan. So reason number 4, you don't want to wait too long to buy a house, is that if you wait too long and prices do tend to drop, is that if prices are dropping, inventory is probably dropping as well in the housing market. So what happens is that when prices drop, sellers don't want to list their house when prices are dropping because sellers don't want to get a lower price for the house. So then we see inventory drop. When inventory drops, it means that buyers have fewer choices of houses to buy, which is bad for buyers because fewer choices means fewer options to choose from. You can't go look at house A and say I really like house A, but I also like house B. Maybe we can get a better deal on house A because I also like house B. And if I don't get house A, then I can go back to house B. Play those kinds of games. So if you wait too long and prices do actually start to drop, then you're going to see fewer sellers actually list their house because they don't want a lower price for their house. So you're going to see less inventory in the market. So if you wait too long and prices do somehow actually start to drop, you're going to see less inventory in the market, which is just bad for buyers, bad for you as a buyer. So you don't want to wait too long to actually start looking for a house. I don't think that's actually going to happen. I don't see prices actually dropping anytime soon. I don't see inventory levels. I do see inventory levels going down just because there are so many buyers out there right now and not enough sellers. So inventory levels are still at historic level lows right now. So it's still kind of bad for buyers out there. There's still not enough inventory for all the buyers that we have. But that's just because there's so many buyers out there and we don't have enough sellers. Hopefully that will change in the coming years. But as of right now, in March or February of 2025, we just don't have enough sellers to keep up with all the buyers that we have. So hopefully that'll change by the end of this year, early next year, 2026. We'll see what happens. Reason number 6 to buy a house right now is that you're building equity. You're building your own personal wealth. Every single mortgage payment that you make, you are building your own personal wealth. Every mortgage payment that you make builds equity. If you buy now, you start growing that investment today. But if you wait, you're delaying that growth by potentially missing out on appreciation. So you don't want to wait to buy a house because the sooner that you buy the house, the sooner that you can build your own wealth. You can start building your own portfolio, basically. It may not be an investment portfolio, but you're owning a piece of real estate, something that builds your own wealth, something that appreciates in value. There's very few things that you buy that appreciate in value. Cars appreciate immediately. Almost everything that you buy depreciates in value, except for houses. Houses almost always appreciate in value. So as soon as you buy a house and you start making those mortgage payments, it starts appreciating in value. So the longer that you hold on to the house, the more that you could potentially sell it for down the road. As you continue to make those mortgage payments, when you turn around and sell the house in 3, 5, 10, 15, 20, maybe 30 years down the road, you're going to turn around and you're going to make your money back, hopefully make a lot more money back when you sell the house. So it's an appreciating asset that you have. So you want to have that in your back pocket, in your portfolio. And then you can turn around with that extra money that you just made and either buy another house, maybe buy 2 houses, rent out the second one, whatever you want to do with that extra money. Reason number 6 you don't want to wait to buy a house is that a lot of people try to time the market. They tell me, you know what, Chad, I'm going to wait till spring of 2025 to buy a house because that'll be the perfect time because the market should be down then or the market should be up then. It'll be the perfect time to buy a house. There'll be more inventory. There'll be more sellers. There'll be fewer buyers, whatever they think is going to happen. Well, guess what? I'd hate to burst your bubble, but trying to time the market is nearly impossible. Even the experts can't time the market. So if you look at the experts over time, they almost always get their predictions wrong. Even I've got my own predictions wrong a lot of the time. Trying to time the market, trying to guess what the housing market's going to do is almost impossible. Almost nobody can actually do it because the housing market just does what it's going to do. During COVID, when COVID happened, everybody thought that the housing market was going to crash. Well, guess what? It did a complete 180. The housing market caught fire. It went red hot all across the country. All of a sudden, everybody wanted to buy houses. Everybody wanted to sell their house. It just did the complete 180 of what people thought it was going to do. So nobody can really predict what the housing market's going to do. Don't believe the experts. Don't believe what they tell you on TV. Just do what you think is best. Don't listen to these experts. When they tell you that the housing market's going to crash tomorrow or next week, don't listen to them. Just listen to your trusted local real estate expert because they know what's happening in your local market. Real estate is very local. Listen to them, ask them questions, see what's going on in your local market. These experts that you hear on TV, they're talking about the national real estate market. National real estate market is very different from your local real estate market. And do what you think is best for you. If you think buying now is the perfect thing for you, if you think that buying now is the perfect thing for you, then buy now. If you think that selling right now is the perfect thing for you, then sell now. If you think that waiting is the perfect thing for you, then you should wait. Don't listen to experts. Just do whatever you think is best for you and your family. Finally, reason 7, not to wait to buy a house, is that inflation benefits homeowners. So here's the thing about inflation. It tends to push home values even higher. If you buy now, you lock in today's prices and mortgage rate, protecting yourself against rising costs in the future. Homeownership is one of the best hedges against inflation. So what does that mean? It means that if you buy now, you lock in today's price for your house, you lock in today's mortgage rate. If you get a fixed rate mortgage, you lock in today's rate for your mortgage. They cannot change your rate for your mortgage as long as you get a fixed rate mortgage. So even if prices go higher in the future, guess what? Your house, the price that you paid for your house is not going to change. The interest rate that you have for your house is not going to change. Now, if interest rates go down in the future, you can always refinance and get a lower rate, but they cannot ever raise your interest rate on your house. Like we have a 3% interest rate on our house right now. They can never raise our interest rate on our house. Now, if interest rates somehow go down into the 2s again or 1s, we can always refinance and get a lower interest rate, but they can never raise our interest rate on our house. So that's how homeownership protects you against inflation. So if you're on the fence about buying a house, I hope these 7 reasons give you something to think about. Don't let fear of the market hold you back. Homeownership is one of the best long-term investments that you can make. If you're thinking about buying here in the Kenosha area and you need some advice, please feel free to give me a call, shoot me a text, or send me an email. All my contact information is down below here in the video description. I'm happy to help out any way that I possibly can. Just send me a text or give me a call or shoot me an email. I'll respond to you just as quickly as I possibly can. I hope they have a fantastic rest of your day, and I can't wait to see you in the next video.